Hello, my name is Huda Saeed, and today I'm going to be focusing on the Harry Potter family pedigree. The two phenotypes that I'll be focusing on are whether someone has magic, is a witch or wizard, versus if they have no magic or if they're a muggle, which I'm going to be representing by a big M and a little m to express the genotypes. Those with magic will be shaded, and those without magic will be unshaded. And I included the possible genotype if someone expresses the trait, in this case, has magic. For X-linked dominant, those that have magic will have at least one big M, and those without will only have little m's. In this case, is the pedigree X-linked dominant? The answer is no, because of Mr. and Mrs. Evans, who do not have magic and have little m in their genotype, while their daughter Lily Potter does have magic and therefore has a big M in her genotype. If Lily has magic and none of her parents do, there is no way for Mr. and Mrs. Evans to pass on the dominant allele to any of their children, or produce any girls that have the dominant allele, including Lily Potter, who is supposed to express that phenotype. Therefore, this pedigree is not X-linked dominant. With X-linked recessive, everyone who has magic and expresses the trait will need the recessive allele, or in this case, the little m's. However, this is also inconsistent for the same reason as X-linked dominant. Mr. and Mrs. Evans are not able to pass on X chromosomes that contain two recessive alleles to their daughter Lily in order for her to express the magic phenotype. Therefore, this is not X-linked recessive. For autosomal dominant, those who express the trait have at least one big M. Although it is uncertain whether those that have magic are heterozygous or homozygous, from what we are able to assume about genotypes, we can see that it doesn't work out. With Mr. and Mrs. Evans, since they do not express the magic phenotype, it is impossible for them to pass on the dominant allele or big M to any of their children. Therefore, none of their children should have magic, but Lily Potter does, so they are not autosomal dominant. For autosomal recessive, those that express the magic phenotype must have two recessive alleles. In the previous slides, the pedigrees were close to being consistent, except in the case of Mr. and Mrs. Evans being able to produce a child that expressed the phenotype, when they themselves did not or were not carriers. However, in this case, we cannot assume if they are homozygous or heterozygous, but by being heterozygous, they still do not have the trait and are both able to pass on a recessive allele, leaving the chance for them to have a child with magic. Therefore, this pedigree is autosomal recessive. Finally, a trait could be Y-linked if it is expressed on the Y chromosome. Since males are the only ones with Y chromosomes, they are the only ones who can express Y-linked traits. And since our pedigree has both males and females, it cannot be Y-linked. These are my sources, and thank you for watching.